Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel. I'm Daniel. This is Jonathan. Today we are back with Death Note episode 6 of the only season. So we found out a lot last episode about the book and the note,
his experiments,
and how strong it can be. It's actually kind of OP. It's really powerful, especially like the little detail that he figured out about being able to add names afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, the way he approaches it is very scientifically. He's like, what can I get away with? What can I do?
Right.
And so who knows what else he can come up with?
Well, and then even the Shinigami god was like, oh, I didn't know about that. I didn't.
Oh, that's right.
He's like,
because people, to him, it's easy.
Right.
He's like, you die. You die. Right. There's no really motives. It's kind of like, the only motive is to live forever.
Correct.
So he's finding out all this interesting stuff. And the way he took down the guy in the bus was like, extremely creative and really smart, and everything had to go to plan, and it did.
Yep.
But like we were saying, he's getting a little. He started like before it was all about like taking out criminals and everything,
right? And because he wanted to be like a god of
justice,
right?
But now he's taking out people who oppose him.
Yep.
Even if they're good people, including the FBI agent and. Not all the FBI agents.
It was all 12 FBI agents that were in Japan on the case, but then also his boss, the FBI director, I think, right? Who sent him the email.
Oh, right. That's right.
With those names and the pictures.
That's right. And he's just involved in the case, right?
Right.
Man, which is, who knows, they have families, everything. So that one FBI agent left behind a wife who happens to also be an FBI agent.
I think it's fiance. I don't know that they were married, right? Because he was telling him about introducing her
to the family
and
parents.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the wild card, because she obviously, a lot of those other FBI agents left behind wives and probably or girlfriends or kids, whatever. But he left behind an ex-FBI agent who he had said was you were better at me than this.
Right.
More and had better intuition, right?
And it's crazy that she decided to kind of be the one who takes a step back, being that she was the better one. Right.
Yep. But not anymore. Now she has motive, right?
Now she's the only one.
So, and as long as he doesn't know that she's looking for him, then she can. So I'm almost rooting for her now, too,
right? And
to get justice.
And another thing, obviously, Lightning did was weed out all the other police force that weren't committed to this, right?
They're about to meet potentially.
Yep. I think the dad was about to go into the room, which makes me wonder. You mentioned now he's taking out people who oppose him, right? Would he go as far as writing his dad's name down? Because his dad, to a point, is gonna. It's gonna get to a point where they're trying to find out who Kita is, and so
if his dad gets too close, right? Deal.
Well, and not so much just that is if his dad begins to oppose him as much as L, and what if there's a point in time where the dad has to have a conversation with Kita, or like is directing words at Kita,
right? Like,
how does that make him feel? Because I think there was that episode where he kills the guy that was on TV thinking it was L, like out of just spite, getting angered at the moment.
Right.
Will he do that with his dad?
Yeah, I don't know. That would be wild. If he's like all in on this, he's consumed by it, then I could see him doing something as crazy as that. But I don't know how much his dad's gonna tell him. As far as like, he's not gonna go home and be like, hey, I just met Light in person. I don't know exactly what he looks like. Here's his name. You know what I mean? Even if he knows what he looks like, though, he doesn't know his name.
Dang, if he. Yeah.
I don't know. That's wild. We'll see. There's a lot. This is one of those shows where you can get stuck in like the theories because it's just a lot. That's why I like it so much. But before we hop in, guys, please consider subscribing to our channel. Full link to access over on our Patreon, as well as early access to future episodes if you want to get a head start. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and hop into episode 6.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Unraveling. Oh, that's right. Oh, his face. Does you want a mask? Come on.
He looks like a young kid.
This is him?
He's young. They're probably shocked out.
Nothing like I thought he'd be.
Why is he scratching himself? Why is he barefoot?
I'm very sorry we're late. Currently, the 5 of us are...
Bang.
What the hell was that?
If I were Kira, you'd be dead, Mr. Soichiro Yagami, chief of the NPA.
Oh, was he counting?
Kira needs a face and a name in order to commit murder. Please do not give out your name so carelessly. Instead, Let's value our lives.
There's no way to verify if this is related, but criminals whose names were never released publicly or whose names were spelled incorrectly in the media have not been targeted. We briefly went over it at one of our meetings.
Come on, young guy.
That's enough small talk for now. Come this way. Please turn off all your cell phones, handhelds, and any other communication devices and leave them on the table right there.
What do you think we're going to be using our cell phones during this meeting to
Just
leak
listen in.
information?
It's all right. Just do as he says.
I realize he's been cautious from the very beginning, but I still can't tell if he trusts us or not.
No, I just find them distracting. I can't stand it when people's cell phones are ringing while I'm trying to talk.
It's like monk vibes, huh?
Right? I can't tell if he's wearing eyeliner or if it's just like supposed to mimic like dark circles, like he hasn't slept or something.
Maybe he's a mime.
Excuse me, L?
Sugar.
From now on, I'll have to ask that you stop calling me L. It's Ryuzaki now, just to be safe.
Okay,
Why
Ryuzaki.
does that name sound
If we
familiar?
know that he needs a name and a
Ryuk.
face to kill,
Ryuk,
can we
yeah.
cut down on the number of victims by keeping criminals' names from the news?
If we do that, we'll only be putting the general public at risk. Kira is childish and he hates losing.
But how do you...
Just what do you mean?
Well, I'm also childish and I hate to lose.
Okay.
Right. He
gotta
sees
be.
similarities.
Up until then, we thought that Kira would only go after criminals. But as we all witnessed, he didn't hesitate to kill my stand-in. Also, as soon as I said we knew he was in the Kanto region, in defiance, he made sure his next victims came from within Japan, as if to say, and what are you going to do about it? He's met each of my challenges head-on, and he's never missed an opportunity to return the favor. Now, what do you think would happen if we tried to use media restrictions to hide criminals from someone like that? If you choose to withhold the names of your worst criminals, I'll kill petty criminals or the innocent. I'm holding the whole world hostage, so who's it gonna be?
So you might as well leave them
I'm the evil
public.
one here, but all those who oppose me by hiding criminals, you are truly evil.
He's thinking like him.
Kira works alone. He had access to all our classified information.
What evidence do you have that he's working alone?
Hold on, Aizawa. Let's listen to his entire theory before asking questions.
We know he needs a name and a face to kill. And to some extent, he can control a victim's time of death and their actions before dying. On December 14th, 12 FBI investigators entered Japan. Here we are on December 19th. Using prison inmates, Kira conducts experiments manipulating his victims' actions before they die. In other words, during this window of only 5 days, Kira became aware of the FBI's presence and obviously felt threatened.
Right.
He needed to know how much control he had over his victims before he could use it against the 12 agents. And as we all know, on December 27th,
I got a hold of a file which contained all the names and faces of the FBI investigators in Japan, and I succeeded in killing each one of them. I have to make sure that no one ever finds out that I came into contact with Ray Penber.
That's kind of the missing link.
How come you're not using the Death Note today? You studying for those entrance exams?
Those are the least of my worries, plus it's a little late to start now.
Huh? What you doing?
December 19th to December 27th. I've been most active during this period.
during this period, to the best of our knowledge, at least 23
They're both thinking the
individuals
same
died of
things,
heart
gosh.
attacks. I suspect Kira had to be one of the people being investigated by the FBI between the 14th and the 19th of December.
And he was.
In fact, I have no doubt.
What
These
happened
are
in those
files
5 days?
provided by the FBI, and they contain additional information you might find useful. For obvious reasons, you're not permitted to take these out of this room, but
Amazing! There might only be 5 of us, but with this much information, we should be able to cover a lot of ground.
We'll split into 2 teams.
If you can
One team
link it
traces
to that
the
bus
FBI agents,
accident.
The other looks at the heart attack victims.
does anyone have any questions?
Actually, Ryuzaki, I do have one question for you. Does the fact that you've shown us your face mean that you've lost? By just being here, are you admitting defeat to Kira?
He doesn't
That's
know
right.
his name.
By showing my face to you now and by sacrificing the lives of 12 FBI agents, I have lost the battle.
The war.
But I'm not going to lose the war. This is the first time I've ever put my life on the line. I want to show Kira that we're all willing to risk our lives if that's what it takes. and that justice will prevail no matter what.
All right then, let's do this, Ryazaki.
Well, I had my doubts about whether it was really him at first, but there's no mistaking it.
That's
This
what I thought.
man is L.
He's just a little
Before
weird,
we go
but
any further, I have to be absolutely sure that none of you are Kira, so I'll need to speak with each of you individually before you leave today.
What is he
What's
gonna
the
ask?
deal? He still doesn't trust us?
No, I think it's a fair request. Try to see it from his perspective. Kira's been getting information from our headquarters from the very beginning, so there's a good chance that he's one of us.
Chief's right. Working this case has given us a chance to see him in person.
He's risking his life to be here.
Just one clue, a single decisive
Right.
factor is all I need.
I mean, I feel like he's
Just
kind of
one
already close.
oversight.
Right.
A single piece of evidence is all it would take. It could.
He's
cost
thinking the
me
same
my
thing. I was
life.
about to say the same thing about the
Just
other one.
one
Crazy.
Dude. They're each probing for a tiny mistake.
Yeah.
Because I was just about to say that about L. I was like, he has to think of everything. If he overlooks one thing, Light can get him.
Yeah.
And literally, as I was saying that,
He's thinking that.
Light saying the same thing about him, about
Himself.
L, or L saying the same thing about Light, both ways.
What's crazy, I think the mistake is going to be if they are able to draw it down to that bus. I'm telling you, it's the amount of people that are in the bus that are going to give them away because they know it's a younger person.
Yeah.
On the bus that day, it's Ray Penber, the bus driver, the crazy guy,
And
and
the
the
older
older
couple.
couple, and then them two dating.
Yeah. But even then, they knew that they only investigated so many people, and they knew one of the people they're investigating was the director or inspector's son. I don't know. But so then they know he's one of them, and so they can narrow it down there. And then I feel like you can almost make a connection just with that. But
Yeah.
if a human uses the note, a god of death usually appears in front of him or her within 39 days after he or she uses the note. 39 days.
Which makes sense. Why? Remember I asked, well, Ray Penber touched the note, the papers, and Shinigami didn't appear to him. It's because it could take up to 39 days.
Did he touch him?
Yeah, because he wrote the names of the 12 agents on papers from the death note, remember?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So very similar to that criminal who touched the note that he purposely dropped, and then he saw Shinigami.
Yeah, that could be the reason, yeah. I know that Shinigami was already on the bus with... I guess he can only be at one place at once, I'm assuming, right? So he was already there with Light.
Right.
So that's why that guy saw him. Whereas we don't know where he was during that whole train situation. He was with them at the train station, though, wasn't he?
Well, he was with them at the beginning at that shopping center, the mall.
The mall
'cause he was
area,
telling
yeah.
them about it, but then when he meets them and he makes them use the walkie-talkie and go to the subway.
We don't know where
we don't
he
know
is
where
at
he's-
that point, right? Gods of Death, the original owners of the Death Note, do not do, in principle, anything which will help or prevent the deaths in the note. Okay, they don't do anything to help prevent the deaths in the note. Okay.
I'll be fine. I haven't missed anything. The biggest risk I've taken so far was that bus jacking incident.
Telling you.
But they'll never be able to connect it with Kira. Fortunately for me, both the police and L don't know that Kira can kill people by means other than a heart attack. However, if anyone were to discover that fact, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Your father's been pulling overnighters with no change of clothes, so you're going to bring these to him.
But Mom, I totally promised my friends that I'd go out with them today.
I'll
Why
take
don't
them.
I go? I could use a break.
Thanks, Light. I owe you one next time.
So I guess this'll give you a chance to spy on the police.
All
I
right.
won't go further than the reception desk.
Oh, see how he slowly...
Oh, you're bringing a page. Planning to kill someone.
No, but lately I've been bringing a page with me every time I go out, just in case.
That's wild. If he drops that page anywhere...
That day,
Oh, here she is.
Ray said that he was planning to go to Shinjuku.
She's the one that picked up the whole bus thing.
Yeah.
That same day, 4 people died of heart attacks in the Shinjuku area. And there was the bus jacking. There's no way it was a coincidence.
She's smart.
It's it. Kira can kill in other ways.
Oh.
It doesn't have to be a heart attack.
The mobile customer you are trying to reach.
That's unusual for Dad.
That's just a suspicion from her, though.
Right, but that's how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Please, I need to speak directly with someone from the Special Investigation Task Force.
Oh.
It's urgent.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but I can't help
Is she gonna say why she's there?
Already, there is no one at Task Force headquarters.
Does he kill her?
There's no one at headquarters? Dad's cell is turned off. What's going on?
Can't you contact them somehow?
Don't say anything.
I have information relating to the Kira investigation.
The Kira investigation?
Dang it. He's gonna go in and listen.
Yeah. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Detective Soichiro Yagami's son, Light Yagami. I brought my father a change of clothes, but it doesn't look like he's in. Can I leave them here?
Sure. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while, Light.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What, you don't remember? You helped solve the insurance fraud murder investigation sometime last year. But hey, no one remembers the receptionist, do they?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm terrible with faces.
The irony of that.
Yeah.
So, Light, does this mean you're going to be helping us with the Kira investigation too?
Sure. If all goes well, maybe I'll find Kira before Elle does.
I am Kita. How does he know about Elle?
As I thought, there's no one at headquarters. You're going to have to trust me on this, ma'am. I'll be sure to give them your message as soon as I see them, I promise.
That's not good enough. I have to tell them in person.
Excuse me.
He got her
My
face.
father is actually in charge of the Kira investigation. If you'd like, I could pass your message on to him. A number of FBI agents were just killed, and a lot of detectives have quit the case because they're afraid of Kira.
Light, it's probably better if you don't discuss this with...
True, but it's practically common knowledge at this point. You heard about what happened, and you must have figured out that the police had a leak of some kind. And that's why you wanted to tell them in person. You thought this through. Well, am I right?
Dang.
I'm sure my father will be calling me back once he checks his messages. When he does, I'll give you the phone and let you talk to him.
You sure that's all right?
You understand why I can't just give you my father's cell phone number, but I have no problem letting you use my phone to talk to him. You'll have to trust my father and I, which I hope won't be too difficult for you.
He's acting.
I think he's gonna kill her.
So according to you, is Kira some... we've been talking and I just realized I don't even know your name. My name is Light Yagami. Light's written with the character for Moon and Yagami with the characters for Night and God.
Is he smart?
Kinda weird, huh?
My name's Shoko Maki. With the characters for Shining, Koa's and Child.
Miss Maki, right? Miss
Dang.
Maki, I've been thinking about Kira's powers.
Did she
And I believe they enable
tell
him
the
to
truth?
somehow control his victims before they die.
So do I. Kira's able to control their actions before he kills them, but there's more to it. If my analysis so far is correct,
No.
Kira can kill in a number of ways, not just with a heart attack.
There it is.
She knows? Who is this woman?
Right.
I'm almost positive that someone I know may have met Kira.
Kira? Oh, I'm sorry, but if a person came in saying they'd met Kira, the police would be more than a little skeptical, to say the least.
I know. That's why I need to explain it in person to someone from Task Force headquarters. He was one of the 12 FBI agents who came to Japan.
Is he gonna feel any guilt?
An FBI agent who met Kira.
Oh, he knows.
He knows who he has to.
You see, he was also my fiancé. While he was working, he got caught up in a bus jacking. And I
There
had
it
reason
is.
to believe that he met Kira.
There it is. She's close.
I mean, she's right in front of him, bro.
Right. Well, I mean, but she's close as in
solving it.
Yeah.
I've come to believe that Kira set up that bus jacking. It was planned to bring him into contact with my fiancé in order to obtain information regarding the identities of the other FBI agents so he could get rid of them all. Anyway, what stands out to me is that the hijacker died in an accident. In other words, it suggests that heart attacks aren't the only way Kira can kill people.
Man.
It's so crazy.
His face.
You think she's caught on that it's him yet?
Okay, so the bus jacker didn't die of a heart attack. And based on that, you're saying Kira has other ways of killing people?
Yes.
So he's
I take this the wrong way, but I think that's a bit of a leap of
he's
faith.
probing either to see how
There's
she
no
got
other way of
there,
looking at it. If Kira was controlling the hijacker, chances are he killed him too.
or to potentially give her a chance to go free if he convinces her otherwise.
After he calmed down, I asked him for details. He didn't mention any names or anything like that, but he told me one thing.
What did he say?
That he'd been put in a situation where he had to show his FBI ID to someone. I think whoever saw his ID that day is responsible for the deaths of all the agents.
You're right.
Unbelievable. She figured it out. This must be the oversight Light was worried about.
Right.
I understand. You're the only one who knows any of this, and you want nothing more than to avenge your fiancé by bringing Kira to justice, right? And now you're convinced that Kira can kill without using a heart attack.
Yes.
He's gonna gaslight her.
Your theory is worth looking into, that's for sure. Your testimony could be central to the case.
It could.
If what you're telling me is true, then it'll only be a matter of time before the police catch up with Kira. The person your fiancé showed his ID to on the bus
Is
that
me.
day,
Oh.
it had to be Kira.
That's right.
Is something gonna happen?
That was close.
Oh.
This woman, if she'd spoken to me once before I met her. But it seems there's a god on my side after all.
Man.
Not just a god of death.
No.
He kills her.
Did he already write it while he was walking behind her?
If he did, it's not going to be a heart attack because then he's a suspect.
Oh, that was quick. What? That was quick.
That was a quick episode. Gosh.
Man.
All right. Well, I like how spot on I was at the beginning when I said it could be the bus. If they narrow it down to the bus.
Yeah. That was like the one thing. Man. But you know, the way he was wording it there, it's almost like, okay, maybe there was just enough guilt of killing her fiance that he was going to try to see if he can like deviate her thought process, even though he's thinking that's too much of a risk, a liability. But so either he was asking all those questions to like make her think, like you said, gaslighting, that she has a hole in her own logic, or to see how she came to that conclusion and see if anyone else could take the same steps to get to that conclusion.
Right. Okay.
Which I think he found out that the way she was able to get there was the information she got from him directly, which no one else has. No one else knows that he went on a bus and that he had to show his ID to someone. So she was able to get those pieces and connect it.
Right.
I just thought she was gonna be like the wild card in this whole thing, which she kind of is, but
I thought her character was gonna kind of work in the dark
this whole time. That's gonna come out.
But she went straight to the police.
She went straight there, but as smart as she is, and knowing that he just needs a name and a face, that's why I'm thinking, hope maybe she's smart enough to not give her real name.
Oh man, and I'm just thinking back on that episode of the bus episode where they go back to the room, and I feel like I don't know if there's a name or something like that, but that Maki name, that name she gave at her last name, sounds familiar. I can't remember the first name, but I feel like that's what she referenced, or that name was brought up in that episode.
What did she say her name was? Maki
Shining something Shohani.
Let me see.
Maki.
Oh, but they gave the name. They gave the name when they were outside.
Yeah,
right?
when they're on the corner light.
Yeah, I should have written it down.
Right here. He gives his name.
Kind of weird. Shokomaki. Shokomaki. But she doesn't seem. She's saying it very, like, from our perspective, we don't know what she's thinking.
Right.
In her mind.
Correct.
And he's really good about not showing.
He's got a big poker face.
Yes.
Really good one.
And he was like, wow, that's so smart. I didn't think of that. Right. And he's the son of like the guy leading the case. And he had helped with the case the previous year.
Which I thought she was going to catch on to him because he was almost just very freely and openly giving information.
That may be public knowledge as well, that the police are working with L, or semi-public knowledge. I don't know. The police officer didn't say anything, or the receptionist guy didn't say anything to him that will make him think like, how would he have known? He did say though, be careful, like maybe don't talk about it too openly.
Yeah.
It's like, it's pretty much public information at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if they gave her name at the beginning, whenever they first met, or whenever at the beginning of previous episode, whenever he's with his fiance. Did they ever give her name?
I think the family name. He talks something about the dad.
Yeah, about him, my fiance and everything, but I don't see it. We're just kind of scrolling. Yeah, I didn't see it there. I mean, I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah.
It would just be a bummer if like he gets all the information from her. It shows how good she was able to deduce everything, and then boom, he kills her.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think she's going to be dead in the next episode.
But then he almost has to be careful how he. Well, no one else knows. He's going to have to kill her in a non-heart attack way.
Right, where she's riding down the street in a bike or walking, gets hit by a bus. I don't know.
But it does look suspicious that both the fiance and her at the same time, within days or, very close to each other.
He's going to definitely have to make hers look like an accident. Like,
you know what it could be? She's depressed.
Suicide note.
Right. A suicide note, and then she still dies of a heart attack. Or I guess you can't, because then maybe
because she can maybe, like, if she is,
the autopsy will still show a heart attack. So then I don't know what he can make her drink.
Off herself.
Yeah. Dang, that's
many
wild.
different ways. But yeah, again, my guess is she's dead in the next episode.
That's unfortunate.
She's smart, but not smart to see another.
She's not
episode.
like Elle.
Yeah.
Which Elle's character was kind of wild. He was like in his stance. He's a little weird, but he's obviously very good at what he does.
Mm-hmm. And I had the dad's thought too. Whenever they first show him, I'm like, that's not really him. Is he using a decoy? Like,
right? Yeah.
I'm still skeptical if that is Elle.
Right.
Because in previous episodes, I don't think the hair was there in the shadows.
Yeah.
It felt like the guy was a lot more slim, sleek looking, but I mean,
Yeah, I feel like I do believe it's him because it sounds like him, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of a twist with it.
Yeah.
But he's just, he could have been like a homebody. Like he's really smart. So he's always in the books. So like his social skills are kind of off.
Odd.
So that's why he does.
Yeah.
Eats a lot of sugar. But anyway, that was pretty funny. So, I mean, I like, again, the parallels. They're both looking for weaknesses in the other. So it's going to be, I don't know who ends up winning or who gets caught up. It was, he seemed to have made, I guess in one way you could say that Elle made the first misstep, and which is why so many people have died.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Light made a misstep with the whole busting.
Right.
He just got lucky that he walked in at the same time as she. Like,
she did, yeah. Because if he said, if she would have given that story to the police,
what she should have done is written out or recorded on the tape all of her thoughts in case she died.
Dang, and maybe she did,
right? Because like, if I die, this is the information that I have, and I may, he may have found out that I know this stuff, so put it somewhere, hide it away.
Kita.
I mean, as a backup, it's just too valuable.
It is,
but she may not know that. Anyway, good episode. Looking forward to the next one, but that's all I got for today, guys. So please consider subscribing to our channel. Full interaction over on our Patreon, as well as early access to future episodes if you want to get a head start on those. Otherwise, we'll be back in a few days with episode 7. So until then, we will catch you on the next one.
Peace.